on Frankie, though, did it?
Suppose so, but that was different. Have been rotten to him, though. But if Judy had just said
well,
something...
you have a word to Davo in the morning.
Oh, why me?
Who else?
You reckon she'd listen?
Oh, I suppose so. She's in a good mood. You could always try a bit of soft soap.
Just like Vera. Oh, God, she looked funny. I nearly wet myself.
Well, her boyfriend wasn't around.
Oh, now I really could spend a dirty weekend with him.
Oh, Lizzie, you couldn't, could you?
Will you all be up on a charge?
Dreaming of your girlfriend, Bryant. It's a good story, isn't it? Telling everyone that vicious little lesbian is your daughter so that you can share a cell with her.
She's not like that, and you know it.
Oh, isn't she? She's got all your other qualities, if she is your daughter.
She doesn't know anything about me or what I am.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
You wouldn't tell her. You couldn't. Not even you could be such a bitch.
There was no need to tell her. She already knew.
How? How did she know?
Pretty obvious, I would have thought. I happened to mention it to her. And she said she already knew. After all, it takes one to know one.
Morning.
Is it?
Hi, Julie. Should you have knocked off by now?
I'm waiting for Mrs. Davidson. I've got a report for her. There was a disgraceful performance by the prisoners last night.
Oh, that bad, huh?
I didn't expect much sympathy from you.
Listen, has Parks gone to court yet?
Yes, a few minutes ago.
Damn.
Another one of your hearts and flowers cases.
I'm just trying to help.
Trying quite hard, I hear.
Well, I think it'd be a shame for her to miss out on the national athletics team if she's innocent.
If.
And I get a bit tired of people who judge others without knowing all the facts.
It's a pity that you don't extend that same sympathy to some of the staff as well as the prisoners.
I do. To most of them.
That's the prisoner's mail.
That's right.
Well, you can't just let it go through.
Yes, I can.
They can get away with anything in here. Oh.
So I set it up for Laurie, and, well, I don't know, somehow she must have found out, and she got into the cell all right, and then Vera, Miss Bennett came along and copped the lot.
A bucketful of soap powder.
Well, it wasn't quite a bucketful. Nearly, but...
All over her.
Oh, yeah. She looked awful. Well, she thought Laurie had done it. The next thing I know, she's carting her off to the pound. Well, it wasn't Laurie's fault, Mrs. Davidson, it was mine. And so I thought I'd just come along here and explain it all to you so that you could let her out. You will, won't you? Let her out.
Needless to say, Doreen, I do have some knowledge of the incident. What I do not understand is why you would play such a trick on Laurie.
Well, I was Judy's friend until she came along.
And you were jealous?
Well, I got chucked out of Judy's cell and I thought that they... Well, heck, how was I supposed to know she was Judy's daughter?
I'm glad you've shown such responsibility in owning up. However, a sentence of 2 days has been ordered by the officer in question, and I will not countermand that.
But she didn't do it.
So I propose to release Young, and you will serve the remainder of her sentence. Furthermore, you will apologize to Miss Bennett for your behavior.
Say sorry? To her? Oh, you got to be kidding. I'm not flaming saying I'm sorry to her.
Burns?
Well, I can't.
Very well, then you and Young will be confined to solitary. Miss Bennett is at reception. I have to go there now, so I will take you with me. Come along. Miss Bennett, Burns has something to say to you. Doreen?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about what happened last night in Laurie's cell, and, well, it was all my fault, and I'm saying I'm sorry.
Well?
You can't let her go just like this.
I think she did it rather nicely.
It's a trick to get that girl out of solitary.
Burns is serving the remainder of the punishment you ordered.
Bryant put you up to this, didn't she?
No, Miss Bennett, I don't think so.
Could I speak to you privately, please?
Miss Bennett, a prisoner has just apologized to you, and I do not believe she has received an answer.
Very well. I accept your apology.
Mr. Harrison, would you take Burns to solitary and release the prisoner Young at the same time, please?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson. Okay, Burns, come on.
I hope this will be an end to it.
Okay, Young, out you get. Come on.
But I thought I had 2 days.
Yeah, well, Burns has taken your place.
Why? Told Mrs. Davidson about what happened. I didn't think it was your fault. I didn't think it was fair.
I didn't think you liked me.
Well, who says I do?
Oh, come on, this is not a social club. Come on, here you go.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.
Yes, Lizzie, what is it?
I'd like to have a word with you in private, Mrs. Davidson. Women's talk.
Oh, of course. Well?
It's about Sid Humphrey.
Yes, Lizzie?
Well, I had a letter from him this morning, and he reckons he's coming back in the city to live.
I believe he's back already. Mrs. Powell saw his son moving him in this morning.
Back already?
Well, apparently. No.
Well, look, there's a terrible lot of work to be done around the garden. He's got wonderful green fingers. I'm wondering if, he could fix up a few jobs around here.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Lizzie, but there simply isn't the money at the moment.
But you get a lot of money from the government, don't you?
Unfortunately, I have to keep to a budget, and the department is always trying to cut it back.
Oh, the miserable... Sorry, Mrs. Davidson.
Besides, Lizzie, you must remember that Sid had a stroke, and we really don't know how fit he is.
Yeah. Well, do you reckon I could go out and then I could find out how he is?
Well, I suppose it might be possible.
Tomorrow?
I'll have to clear it with the department, but there shouldn't be any problems.
Oh, you are a good sort, Mrs. Davidson.
Mrs. Powell can escort you.
Beauty!
Lizzie, why wouldn't you talk in front of Mr. Fletcher?
Oh, well, me and Sid, it's not the sort of thing you talk about in front of men.
Oh, of course. How silly of me.
No sign of Doreen. She must have copped it.
Well, then where's Laurie?
Dunno. But David wouldn't put them both in the pound.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Trust Doreen to stuff things up.
He's back. He's home. He's back in his own house, and I'm going to see him.
Who's back?
Sid. Mrs. Powell saw him moving back into his house this morning, and he's all right.
When are you going to see him?
Oh, tomorrow at his place. Isn't it just wonderful?
It's terrific, Mother.
What's going on here? Get back to work.
Just celebrating my good news, Miss Bennett.
Oh, yes, and what's that?
Sid Humphrey. I'm going to visit him. Mrs. Davidson arranged it special.
Just make sure that you're back on time.
Oh, you're the only person I know who could find a cowpat at the end of a rainbow.
That's enough. Or you'll find yourself in solitary with Burns.
Aha! So, she's in the pound, eh?
Yes. She's swapped with your little friend Young.
And Laurie?
She's in her cell. Now get back to work.
All right, now, bag.
Well, come on, smile. Won't crack your face,
I just don't know what I'm going to say to her.
About what?
Bloody Bennett. She's told her.
About you? That bitch.
Wonder how she's going to react. It's not every day you find out your mother's a lesbian. Hi.
Hello, Mum.
You all right? How was it in there?
Oh, got to me a bit. Well, not knowing what to expect, I suppose I panicked. I don't know that I could have stood another day.
You would have got used to it.
Yeah. What made it worse was that maniac that put me in there. Screaming, yelling. I just got all keyed up.
Laura, whatever happens, you mustn't let her get to you.
I won't. She's weird, that one. I think she likes hurting people. Gets a kick out of it.
And she hurt you?
She tried to.